It's the I Can't Mom Today podcast with Heather, the new mom, and Vera, the seasoned mom. I Can't Mom Today.
Hey, this is Vera and Heather back again with another episode of I Can't Mom Today podcast. Hi, Vera.
Hello, how you doing, Heather?
Oh man, it's been a lifetime. I feel like since we've recorded.
I know. It has been a while. It's been busy, busy, busy.
I know. I feel like I've lived a lifetime too.
Yeah. Yeah, possibly even a few.
Yeah, like we decided to take the summer off because we were just there's too many things going on in our lives. I feel like when you take a step back sometimes it's because other things need to move on in.
Hmm.
And other things moved on in. There were some things with Baker and summer camp and just a lot of things this summer going on. I injured myself, which was it was like a really bad injury. Like I guess not really bad because I didn't have to have like super medical intervention besides physical therapy, but I couldn't walk normal for like weeks. So,
Ugh.
and I know you had some things going on in your life. I don't know if you want to share any of that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, really just focusing on getting Luke healthy, which he's doing really well, thankfully.
Yeah.
And then I've started a new job, an additional job, because everybody needs 3.5 jobs. Because it just kind of seems like should one job pay enough to pay the bills?
Yeah. I mean, it's true.
So
It's the American
yeah,
way.
right, exactly. Darn giggers ate into my voiceover world. So that's just, I mean, I'm still doing the voiceovers. That's one of my 3 jobs.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, a lot of what I do got, well, the world got saturated with people doing voiceovers and trying to get into the industry and
Mhm.
basically undercutting people like me because for them it was just a side hustle. Isn't this
Yeah.
fun? Yay,
Yeah.
wait. And I'm like, but wait, that was my full-time job. Now I
Yeah.
need another job. So yeah, so getting that rolling and all that kind of stuff. And the summers are often kind of crazy for us just because it's like half of my family's birthdays are in July and
Yeah.
just and then August of my one of my other jobs helping Jerry with his online magazine for FSU sports.
Hmm.
So by August, we're getting ready for football season and so yeah, summer is just hectic, hectic,
Yeah.
hectic.
Yeah, we went on vacation and we had the dog and it's
The
just
Roo, how is Roo?
she's better. She definitely has done well with her training, but also she just has so much energy. And so we're trying to figure out what the best ways. We were taking her to doggy day camp and then we were trying to take her a couple times a week to get some energy out. And she wound up with kennel cough. I'm just like, ugh. So it was
Yeah.
just in my full-time gig I stepped away from because I was just too stressed all the time, and that's part of I think being a mom. But I think people handle it differently and have different skills that they're good at, and that is not my skill, is being under stress. And so I mean it's just not. I'm just terrible under stress.
Darn you.
I know I work
How
good
dare
under
you?
pressure, but it takes a lot out of me. And
Yeah.
so I was just slowly being eaten alive basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's no good. I mean, I know from personal experience. I also work well under pressure, but I can only do it for so long because
Yeah.
well, it starts to affect me physically.
Yep. Yeah.
So you need to be mindful. I think people are like that in general
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
except for maybe Jerry.
So Vera and I came to a very hard decision about the podcast, and that we are going to be ending the podcast. And this is our last episode, but we kind of wanted to have a farewell because, we poured a lot into this over the last 6 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, we have had ups and downs and have been very transparent with our parenting, our
Yeah.
struggles.
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard to say goodbye, but it's just we're in a different time and space.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and our kids are, soon it's going to be like, well, I mean, even our intro is like, Heather, the new mom. Well, okay, Baker is 6, but
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever.
And some of
But
it's too because he's coming into another time in his life where, kids are more exposed to the internet. And, while I enjoyed giving and sometimes I didn't enjoy it, I didn't like telling you about like the bad things, sorry.
oh,
I didn't enjoy saying the bad things, and some of it was exaggerated for, entertainment purposes, but it was
uh-huh.
all real and it was all raw.
Yeah. Well, that's why that's we decided when we started that we were going to be as real as and raw as we could be, because otherwise what's the point?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, but I do think, I mean, I think we're going to keep the Facebook group going. Just, it's going to be a closed group, but
Yeah.
so we'll pop on there every once in a while, and I just because some of that's, I enjoyed some of that. There's some funny stuff on there, so um I don't know. But yeah, doing the podcast plus, like you said, Baker's going to have some access to the internet, and as he gets older, then he'll be more aware if we're talking about him.
Yeah. And he knows. I mean, he knows we talk about him on the podcast. I
Hmm.
just, I guess it's something that I didn't think about in the originally is that like, I did say some things about him that I would never say to him because I know it would hurt his feelings, but it's how I
Yeah.
felt.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I don't want him to hear those things and I don't
Hmm.
want to say those things.
Hmm.
So, I'm growing, I'm learning, so
Yeah. Well, see, with Luke, it's like I know he's never going to listen, so listen to the
and I'm
podcast.
not saying Baker will, but it's just, I just don't, I love him a lot. He also frustrates me a lot.
Yeah.
And, you know, uh, it's a battle a lot some days. It's a
Yeah.
battle, but he's getting into more real circumstances that are very specific. And
Hmm.
so that's hard to share
Yeah.
because I don't want other people to connect those dots essentially.
Hmm.
So, just to be like, oh, that's what happened. Oh, blah, blah, whatever. I just need to protect him a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is totally fine. And again, to, yeah, I've got 3.5 jobs. So,
Yeah, and it's just time. I mean, this was a labor of love for us for, almost 6 years. And
yeah.
it it was a lot of money, time,
Hmm.
energy. And sometimes I feel like we knocked it out of the park, and sometimes we just it's just not
Yeah.
the best episode, but we felt not obligated, but we felt a sense of responsibility to the people listening to give you something. And
Hmm.
so yeah.
Yeah. Now we're just gonna have to find another excuse to talk to each other regularly.
I know I felt very disconnected from you this summer. And
I know, because we got so used to talking every week. So,
I know.
so we'll just have to have a set phone date is all.
Yep, for sure.
So that we keep in touch.
I know. Well, I don't know if you have any final words before we depart.
Yeah, I mean, not really, other than I enjoyed it, and um, it's sad, but at the same time, it's like you said, sometimes you gotta move on,
Yeah.
and uh, and Baker's a big boy now, and well, Luke someday will move out of the house, so
Again.
again, so hopefully, yeah. So all that said, it's probably just we've run our course.
Yeah. And just when you're having a bad day, just know that you are not a bad mom or parent. You
Hmm.
are having frustrations. Acknowledge your frustrations. And you can even, there are times where you will snap at your kids
Yeah.
and it will kill you inside. And just
Mhm.
I think giving it some time and going back and acknowledging that to your child. Baker and I, he's always like, you yell at me, you said you were gonna work on your yelling. I was like, I'm working on my yelling, but you aren't working on your blah blah blah. And
Yeah.
was I yelling before you did blah blah blah? And so
Yeah.
it's just like it's and sometimes I just have to laugh and just like walk away and just be like, I
Mhm.
cannot right now. And so
Yeah. Well,
I
and again, it's
will
good to know
not.
you're not alone, which was one of the reasons that we wanted to do the podcast so that people didn't feel like they were the only ones who felt this
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, because we live in an Instagram world where you see highlights of everybody's life and how
Oh,
amazing
yeah.
it is. Um and so even in my personal life, I've pulled away from that, from social media more too. Just where I'm just like, I don't
Yeah.
want to post everything in my life.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was gross. My nose is running.
It's okay.
But yeah, so I mean, I'm sharing less and less of my life with other people because I need to protect it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it takes energy to put yourself out there all the time,
Yeah.
I think. I don't understand it, but again, we didn't grow up with social media, so
Yeah.
maybe that's part of the difference. If we grew up with it, it would be different. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's so much energy to put yourself out there all the time. I don't know how the influencers do it.
They don't. They have a lot of mental health issues. I mean, truly, and I'm not being like, oh, look at, I'm not pointing finger. They really do. A lot of them have some severe mental health. There's been a lot coming out recently where people have been coming out. Influencers have been coming out and saying, I quit. I'm not doing this anymore because it's just, it's hurting my mental health, or I'm burnt
hmm
out, or whatever.
hmm
So
Yeah.
it doesn't not affect people. Like what you're getting from people, especially if it's their life, is really draining on the person giving it to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So
plus too, then they put themselves out there for other people to comment, and
yeah,
a lot of times people aren't very nice.
no, they are not.
So yeah, I don't. Yeah.
And
Anyway, as
that
usual,
includes
we
us as well. Like
digress.
we're also not always nice. I mean, like it's part of being human, but it's
Yeah.
acknowledging it. I'm trying to do better.
True.
So anyways, I just want to say that we are, even though we're not here, we're fighting the battle with you.
Yes, exactly.
So
It's so hard to say goodbye. I hate goodbyes.
I know. I would say until next time, but there will not be
Yeah.
next time.
There will be no next time.
I know, but
We'll miss
be
you.
around in Facebook and
Yes,
just in life.
definitely. Yes, definitely.
All right.
Oh, goodbye.
Bye.